Hey guys, we are in here. I'm trying to get things set up. I was going to do it out in my shop, but it's not cooperating with me out there. I see McMillan Cattle Company, JB, Hubby's Garage, good Hubby's. I don't know how you say it. You know who you are. Pure Pontiac Garage. Good to have you in here. We appreciate everybody jumping in here. I thought I was going to do it out in the shop and do a little walk around out in the shop, but I don't have insulation in the ceiling of the shop. And let me tell you something, it's so loud out there I couldn't even hear myself. Hubie's. All right. I about got it figured out. All right. Glad to have everybody in here. We're just going to do a little update and a little talk about what we got going on in the old shop and what's going on. Hey, 162, I see you jumped in there. Uh, we're going to try to get these stock cars lined up to start with, and try to get these stock cars all uh, ready. Racing season's on us, and we got Matthews pretty much ready. We got to do a little bit of maintenance on it, go over a few things, check the rocker arms and things of that nature, as you would probably already know, the general maintenance on stuff. So you just kind of got to keep that stuff up. So let me see what I can see over here real quick. I'm trying to see my chat. There we go. I can see that probably better if I can get that going. I'm in here in my living room, and I'm trying to get things set up in here. Well, that's not wanting to show for whatever reason. Anyway, no biggie. I see John Wilburn. Yep, welcome to being a Mopar man. Yeah, I've had a few Dodges in my life, but I don't. I've never really done any performance work on any Dodges or any Mopars or anything of that nature. But uh, we worked on that old 360. It was stuck when I got it, but good thing was it wasn't stuck hard, and luckily I got it before it was too bad, and we worked on working it back and forth, as you seen on one of the videos I had up, and we kept working it back and forth, and every time I'd work it, it'd go just I don't know, quarter of an inch farther, and just a little bit, and finally put some diesel fuel down in it and down in the cylinders. Come in the house, ate some supper, went back out, and kept working with it, and all of a sudden it just started breaking free. Went all the way around, and I was pretty tickled about that. And anytime I can save a motor, it doesn't matter what kind of motor it is, as long as I can save it, I'm pretty tickled about it, because that's a motor that can be used for something. And matter of fact, Matthew's truck, the black and silver truck, the 85, 86 Dodge, it's supposed to have a 360 in it. And I think it's got a 360 torque converter, because that thing, when it's sitting there running, it just sits there and shakes the whole truck. So I think the torque converter in it is it's still got the weight. I looked underneath it, I couldn't find the weight, but that doesn't mean that it's not there. But um, and me and him talked about it, but I told him, I said, we might just do a little bit of work on that 360, and uh, we're going to try to get it fired up in the floor in the shop, and see if we can't make it run. Which if it's turning over, I can make it run. So it's just going to be a little bit of time there to try to get that worked out. If I can make it run, it sound good, and I know I'd probably need some tuning. And the longer it runs, the better it'll run, because anybody that's ever messed with a motor that's been stuck and locked up, it needs to run and to free everything back up in it and blow all the crud out of the cylinders. And luckily, with it rolling free as it is, that means that the cylinders isn't really pitted as bad as the little 327 was. That was pretty bad situation. If y'all remember going back to last summer, whenever I went and picked up that little 327, it was stuck bad, and the cylinders was really bad in it. I don't know if boring it out would even clean it up. That's how bad it is. I don't. You might could go 60 with it and clean some of the pits up in it, but there's one cylinder that more than likely needs a sleeve in it. But we just honed it and cleaned it and made it to where it'd be slick, even though it's got pits, and threw a set of new rings in it. Thanks to Lynn Redmond, a good friend of mine. He's retired now. I used to work with him for several years, and he brought those pistons over. I mean, the piston rings. Matter of fact, Steve, Big Block 402, sent me a set of pistons for it, flat top pistons. I want to thank him for that. So we got that motor going. I pulled the bottom end of that old 327 apart. It looked good. The bearings looked nearly brand new in it. I said, there's no sense spending money on it. So hey Leighton, good to see you in there. For whatever reason, my stream isn't going up. I see Punisher Lamons is in here. Good to see you in here. Eric Herveling, hey, I know you. I work with you. Yep, good to have you in here, everybody. But yeah, we got that little 327 going. It's got a little blow by to it, which you can imagine it's going to have with pits in the cylinders. That's pretty bad. But anyway, this 360 that we got, I don't believe it's going to be that bad. It broke free pretty easy. It took a little work, but that diesel fuel in the cylinders, it just kind of gave it just enough to loosen everything up, and boy, it just spun right on out. As you can see, it blowed diesel fuel all over the shop. It made a mess. I see Colleen Tivo's in there. Good to have you. Pure Pontiac Garage. Good to have you guys. Everybody. Thank you for tuning in. We're going to try to do our best to try to have a live once a week, maybe on a Thursday afternoon. I don't want to get into the time of the Pure Pontiac Garage. I mean, Punisher Lamons' time, and him and the others that's involved with that. I'm trying to get a time where I'm not bothering everybody. You know, there's Buff. I see Buff in there. Good to see him in there. I don't have a Pontiac motor yet, but I do have an Oldsmobile motor. I've got a Ford motor out in the little trailer. I've got an Oldsmobile motor. I've got Chevrolet motors all over the place. I've got a Ford 6-cylinder over in the corner. I've got a couple of 2 inline 6-cylinder Chevrolets, an LS, and now I've got a Chrysler motor. So I'm hitting all points of this thing. As soon as I can get me a Pontiac motor, I'll feel a little bit more in tune with some of the Pontiac guys. But that Oldsmobile motor is a close cousin to that Pontiac, so I could probably fit in there with that. But I'm going to do it the same way as I did the 327. I'm going to throw a set of rings in it, and I'd like to get a good used camshaft for it, that 455, because I'd rather not put a brand new camshaft in it. If I could find somebody that had a good used camshaft that come out of one that they may have upgraded or something, but those pretty much hen's teeth anymore. I see Ed's Machines in there. How's Northwest Arkansas treating you up there, Ed? Good to have you in here. And we just thank everybody for jumping. There's JB's little shop. We appreciate you jumping in. But yeah, this little 360, I think it's going to be a fun little motor take and fire it up right there in the floor and see if we can't flip it upside down, rivet a few times. Anybody know what I'm talking about? But we did that one time with my dad. I had bought there's Terry Grover. Good to have you in here, man. Um, I had bought an old 429 Thunderjet. Old Two Hacks Garage knows a little bit about them, but 429 Thunderjet. That thing I'd got it off of an old boy. There's Dr. Ard's Hot Rod. Good to have you in here. And that he had ran it in a derby car, and carburetor was junk on it, but it ran, and we got that thing fired up in the floor. Had the chain on it and with the engine hoist, the same engine hoist we've got, and there's I guess it's Paint Namer. Good to have you in here. Good to have you in here. But anyway, we fired that motor up, sitting there in the floor. It's a 429 Thunderjet, this 69 model, I believe it was. And we couldn't get it to run right. And my dad reached over there, and I was young. I was probably 17 years old, but I was trying to buy some hot rod motors. And he kept messing with it, and he pushed that choke too and threw that thing open, and all four barrels opened up on that carburetor. And I thought the cherry picker and everything was going to flip. It come up on two wheels as the motor rocked like that, and I mean it was crazy. He let off of it, and everything kind of fell back, and the blocks went this way and that way. Everything was kind of jumping all over the place. But we had us a time there. But that was a stout little motor. I should have just took that thing and just put it right off in my old 73 Ford truck, but I had a 73 Ford short bed. I had a 460 in it. I see Big Block 402 is in there. 402 the world. That's what we're trying to do. My little 75 is going to have a Big Block 402 in it. It's going to be a good race in Saxton. I believe it's going to be a fun one. But yeah, that little 73 Ford short bed I had, that was a fun little truck. Had a 460 in it, C6 transmission, set of 350 gears in the rear. I don't know how fast it'd run. It would run, the speedometer was broke. I guess I drove it so fast it broke it. But it, anyway, that was a fun little truck. And I'm going to try to mimic that on the Chevrolet version with the 75 Chevrolet. So I see LP's in there. Good to have you in here. And boy, that was a fun little project. And I'm hoping this little 75 will be a fun project. I was really wanting to get another old Ford truck like my 73 was, because that 73, that was the first truck I'd ever built from ground up. It was wrecked and rolled over when I got it. And my dad got the motor out of it. Originally had a 390 in it. No, that was no, let me think. That was a 66 model I had. I had a 390 in it that was hit in the front. He got it for the motor, and I bought the truck off my dad for $150. It's a 66 Ford, and he took that 390 and put it in an old 74 Ford four-wheel drive that he had, and he pulled a 360 out, and I talked him out of that 360, and I went and saved up my money and bought a rebuild kit, and we took the old bent up hood that was off of the old 66 Ford and laid it out on the ground and started tearing the motor apart on the ground underneath the shade tree. Anybody ever done that? Come on, somebody in there comment, y'all have done that before. I know you have. But took it apart there underneath the shade tree. I think I was 15 years old. That was my first truck I'd ever bought. And like I say, I bought it from my dad for $150. And he was pulling parts apart, or heads off, stuff like that. And we had an old aluminum dishpan off to the side full of gas, and I'd sitting there with an old wash rag with gas and washing parts. And we got that thing all washed up, cleaned all the gaskets up on it. I think we done all this in one day. Had it all apart and started putting it all back together, freshened that old motor up, sitting right there under a shade tree on a truck hood that's turned upside down. And we just roll the motor from one side to the other, getting everything ready. And then when it come time to put it in the truck, we drug the the well, we had chain horse right over there right by it, but we had to drag the hood over there close to it because we had to move everything out of the way. Anyway, an old chain hoist, the old 2-pulley system chain hoist, and on the limb and a limb of that old oak tree, lifted that thing up, and we put it in that old truck, fired it up. Well, I had me an old runner, but that was a piece now. Good to see you in here, Ed. Good to have everybody in here. McMillan Cattle Company. What sounds like a lot of work. Just the name of it sounds like a lot of work. McMillan Cattle Company. I don't mind cattle, but they have a lot of work. I had to work cows when I was little. Yep. Yeah, I've pulled a lot of motors with a chain and chain hoist. I've pulled them with come-alongs too. I didn't like it. And come-alongs a little more dangerous, but well, I've done it. I've pulled them with a come-along out of a tree. Yep, building stock pens. Been there, done that. That's been a long time ago though. I didn't much care for the cattle business, even though it was different and it's fun, I guess you could say, but when I was young, but it's a lot of work, bunch of work, never ending. You got that right. Fun never ends. Terry says, my dad rebuilt a motor on the front lawn using a blanket under the motor and keep the parts clean. It was an old Rambler motor. Yep. Many people's been there and done that. And we've done a lot of motors on the ground. I helped my dad do a few of them that way back when I was young. But kind of miss some days, as anybody can understand. But we got a great big shop out here now, and I got it plumb full of stuff. I see Buck Does It made it in here. Good to see you in here, Buck. Good to have you in here. Looks like we got 18 in here tonight. And just go ahead and hit that thumbs up button over there if you don't mind. We appreciate everybody jumping in. And that would help us out quite a bit. But I don't know what we're going to do with a little 360. Like I say, we're just going to try to get it fired up, get it running, get it going, and see if we can't make a little motor out of that. And a little 318 in his truck runs good. It's 4-barrel. This motor is the 360 is a 2-barrel motor. But I don't know exactly what to do with it. Like I say, I just want to get it running and make some noise with it. We may find a little project here one of these days for it, a little D50 or something like that. I think that'd be kind of fun. I was thinking about that today. But yeah, I could do that and put that Dodge motor in a Chevrolet. I could do that, I guess, put a Dodge motor in a Chevrolet and put a Ford rear end in it. Then I can have it all the way around, I guess. So I've got the Ford rear end already. Yeah, Chevy Loves, that'd be kind of fun to have it in a Chevy Love. But I used to have a little Chevy Love. It was an 80 model. Actually, it was my dad's truck, and a little Chevy Love 4-wheel drive. Boy, that was a pretty neat little rig. I see my wife jumped in there. Hey, Kim. Thought I'd jump in here. I was going to do a live out in the shop, but it was too noisy out there with the rain. So just noisy, really bad. So but anyhow, we just I wanted to get in here and do a little live and try to see what everybody's doing and give y'all an update on what we got going. And Doug's looking for a truck. He's got a line on a truck, and he don't really know if he can get it or not. He's trying to find out, but the people that own it said that they were going to get rid of it, but he don't have an answer on how much yet. So we're hoping that it's cheap, because we like cheap. We can't afford much. We've got a lot of stuff, but we ain't got a whole lot of money. So we're not Vice Grip Garage yet. So we're just kind of Wire Pliers Garage, I guess you could say. We ain't made it up to the Vice Grip part. So, but we're going to get there. We just keep hammering. And we've made it to 1,174 subscribers. That's amazing compared to what I had this time last year. I had just started my journey on the No Name Nationals, and I had started out with 26 subscribers. And when I made the announcement, I tagged in, hashtagged in Pole Barn Garage, and I hashtagged No Name Nationals. I tagged in Pole Barn. But anyway, John Wilburn jumped in there and seen that video, and he was the first one to subscribe to my channel. And we just kind of started from there. It took me a long time to get started into understanding how to do YouTube and how to get subscribers and all. And hey, Bear Rose, I just watched your premiere there just a little bit ago, or caught the last end of it, talking about the heat risers and stuff. But yeah, it took me a little while to figure out how to draw subscribers, and I'm still not real good at it, but I'm good enough to throw a few shorts out there here and there. And yeah, sparkulators. Hey, I got a fuel making happener on top of it, and I've got some sparkulators that's over on the bench that come out of it. They look good. I'm just going to clean them up, put them right back in there, if I even clean them up. I mean, the motor, that 360, only had about 20,000 miles on it, so we're good on that. So the distributor cap is broke. It's got one of the eyelets broke off, and if it didn't have that, I'd have just got a couple more plug wires to put on it. But I've got to go get a distributor cap for it now and put on it. And it is electronic ignition, so we're going to get that hooked up. John Wilburn sent me a diagram on how to hook all that up, but we're going to try to get that working sometime this week or this weekend. And I appreciate it there, Bear Rose. Yeah, we're trying different things, and I've got away from some things that I've done, but I'm looking at doing some new things, and I don't want to get away from who I am. Although, hey there, NSB Customs, good to see you in here. Hope Florida's treating you well. I'd love to be there right about now. So the weather'd probably be a whole lot nicer. I see Fleming's come in there, Fleming Family Racing. Good to see y'all in here. And appreciate everybody jumping in. We're just having a good old time. Everybody just chatting it up over there to the side, and I'm just kind of reminiscing on things that I've done before, and kind of just basically a live ramble, a rambling of thoughts and things that I've had, but anyway, but yeah, the channel has really done well. I really appreciate everybody that's jumped on and helped us on the channel. We again, thank John Wilburn and Dallas for putting on that show, the No Name Nationals last year. If it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have met any of you guys. I mean, I'd have just been just another speck in the YouTube world and running 26 subscribers. But I was watching how I got involved in all that. Pole Barn Garage, he only had like 2,000 subscribers at the time, and uh, watching Pole Barn Garage, and he got to talking about wanting to take that holy goat that he had built, and wanted to take it to Sikeston, Missouri for the No Name Nationals, the inaugural No Name Nationals. And I was thinking, well, that'd be kind of fun, but he said you've got to have 500 subscribers to get there, and that just sparked an idea. I mean, I'm a dirt track guy, and I've been a dirt track guy since I was 17 years old, and I'm 51 years old now. So I was thinking, I used when I was young, in my late teens, early 20s, I'd done a little street racing with my old Ford truck, my old hot rod, but I'd never really went down a drag strip. And I got to thinking, I said, that'd be kind of fun to do, to mix what I've done and take a stock car to the drag strip. I thought that'd be the wildest thing. And, and sure enough, it turned out to be a hit. Everybody loved it. And I appreciate everybody that's jumped in and that really liked it. And I'm going to check something here real quick. Yep, I'm good. All right. But everybody really enjoyed that. And when he got to talking about that, when Pole Barn got to talking about, I see Tim Windsor's jumped in here. Good to see you in here. But and I just jumped on that thing, and yeah, no more dirt on the drag strip. I heard that I slung dirt halfway down the strip when I popped the clutch on that old car. I hated that for everybody, but it was fun, and I thought the car was going to shake apart when I popped that clutch and took off. I mean, it just shook and rattled and had parts of slanging and flopping inside, but it was something. It was something. I enjoyed it though. But yeah, we're going to try to get that same stock car here sometime this summer, this spring. Matter of fact, Skylar Fleming's going to love it, but we're going to take that stock car back to the racetrack, the dirt track this time, and me and old Matthew's going to run side by side, and we're going to have some fun. He's been running for a little over a year now, maybe a year and a half, and he's had some fun at it. And yeah, that 327 in it there, Terry, and that's the one that had the pistons basically welded in the cylinders, and I had to take blocks of wood and beat the pistons out of it because they were just so stuck. It was amazing. Looks like Ed's found Fleming Family Racing. He's jumped in there. He's going to subscribe to y'all. Skylar, if y'all need any machine work, it's a little bit of a drive for you guys, but Ed's Machine up in Northwest Arkansas, he's the man, and he knows what he's doing. And I think you could really get some good support right there. He knows what he's doing. So, but yeah, Terry, that 327 is a good little motor, but it really needs board. But I'm just going to run it. And, it's got a little blow by. I ain't worried about blow by. I'm just going to run the wheels off of that thing, and if it lets loose, it let loose. But I ain't got just maybe $200 tied up in the whole motor. Well, I got more than that, I guess, but yeah. Hey, Skylar, Greer, I don't know if you can see that or not, but Greer Racing Parts and Fuel. Look him up on YouTube. He ships apparently nationwide, but he's got everything. If you can get a hold of him on YouTube or Facebook, he's got Facebook. Look him up, Justin Greer, on Facebook. Hey, John, I see you're in here. Good to see y'all in here as another Arkansas racer. But look, Skylar, look up Justin Greer. He's got a lot of good used parts, and I think he could probably help you out. Do you have a video on the engine build? Yeah, you can scroll back on my videos. You can see there's a video. I think I don't know exactly where it's at, how far back, but it's back in the summer. Just scroll down until you see the 327 build and where I picked up the motor. The motor, it was as crusty as this one. This old 360 that I've got. It was pretty bad. I see Punisher said he raced a 77 pure stock for a while. Yep. 77 Nova pure stock, I see. But yeah, Colleen, look up that video. There's 2 or 3 videos on it, and you can see one where I show the pistons and the cylinders. It was rough. It was very bad. But we put that motor together, and we had an oil leak on the front of the motor when I got it running with a brand new camshaft, all that stuff in it. And then the problem was, once I got it all back together, the camshaft went flat on me. I ate a camshaft up because I don't know. I don't understand it. I had $14 a quart oil in the thing. I mean, I had the good stuff, but and I've done everything on that motor as I did Matthews' motor. But Matthews, we had another friend put that motor together for us. But anyhow, for whatever reason, that the factory stocks and the pure stocks has to have a 480 lift cam or smaller. It cannot have a bigger than a 480 lift. And that was the cam I had in there. It's comp cams, and for whatever reason, it flopped on me. Yeah, Treason Racing. He's a good guy out in California. He's a really good guy. Yeah, Brad Penn. Greer sells. I know that's a good oil, and I think it's hard to tell anymore why camshafts flop like that and go bad. Where are you talking about there, John? Are you talking about Plummerville or Batesville or what? Because I think Batesville, they're practicing next Saturday. If it doesn't rain, it looks like it's calling for rain all next weekend. So I don't think we're going anywhere this weekend. But that little 327, we pulled that old flat camshaft out, that 480 lift, and I had an old solid lift cam here, and I was basically flat broke trying to get that car back together off Centerville. No, hadn't planned on going, but I didn't have anything else, but I had an old solid lift Unidyne cam. I forget what size it was. It's a pretty good size cam, but all I had was a set of hydraulic lifters, and a lot of people said you can't do it, but I did it, and I put that solid lift cam in there with hydraulic lifters and 500 lift cam springs, Z28 springs. It was, an Ultradyne cam. Yeah, that's what I put in that motor. I got a good set of springs for that camshaft, but I didn't have time to put them in. And so what I did is I just stuck them in there, and I told them, I said, it's going to get us to the No Name Nationals. It's going to get us there, and we'll be all right. But it was a good used cam, and put that thing in there, and y'all go back and watch the video where we fired that thing up, and it sounds good. Sounds really good. But I'm going to have to pull that camshaft out before I can run it in any street stock or pure stock races, factory stocks around here. I see Streetcar Chronicles has made it in. Good to see you in here. Appreciate it. I'm looking forward to that square body build. It's going to be a fun one. Hey, Skylar, good to see you in here. Good. Appreciate you coming. I'll send you a link to Greer and try to get you hooked up with him. I'll send you a phone number and everything to try to get a hold of him. He's a really good guy, and I think you'll find that he's got some pretty reasonable parts. That's who I deal with all the time. He helps me out a lot and helps a lot of the racers around here out. There's not a real good race shop around other than him and maybe another or two. I think there's one down toward Morrilton down there. And but yeah, we appreciate you jumping in here, and keep a hammer in there, Skylar. That's I got that phrase from my old buddy Wayne Brooks. He's an old late model driver. Ran with him for years. He's in the Late Model Hall of Fame out there in Florence, Kentucky, and a good friend. I can call him up right now, and he'll help me any way I can, or any way he can, whatever I need. And he's a super good guy. He's in his 70s, still racing, and he'll still kick your butt. I mean, that's just the way it is. He's that good. So, but anyway, yeah, how's that 55 coming? I haven't got to get over there on your channel in a little bit. I seen you put a video up today, but hoping you got that 55 drag car, getting a motor set off in that thing. I'd like to see that thing shake, rattle, and roll one of these days. Renegade's Garage. Good to have you in here, man. Appreciate you jumping in here. But all right. John, my name's Russell Merriman. I have the Facebook page on YouTube or on Facebook. It's Dirt Track Drivers Past and Present. That's my Facebook group, and jump in there. And Russell Merriman's my name. I've got a few pictures of old cars, and other people's got pictures. All y'all guys, if y'all want to, jump in there on Facebook if you get a chance. Look up Arkansas Dirt Track Drivers Past and Present, and hit the join button, and we'll sign you in. There's some old cool pictures of old, back in the old jalopy days, the 55, 6, 7 Chevrolet days, and all the way up until present day. I like them all. Everything from the jalopy to street stocks to pure stocks, front wheel drives, dwarf cars, sprint cars, mini sprints. It makes no difference. If it's been ran in Arkansas, I like it. Mikey Bolden, I've seen y'all guys run, and y'all do pretty good. And I don't guess I've ever got to really come up and talk to y'all much, but we usually, I've been running. I ran BB. That's where I started racing back in 1990. I started going to the races with Stan Yingling and Philip Simpson and Ronnie Johnson, Tommy Johnson. Some of them guys were racing in '89, and I was 16, 17 years old, and started going, watching them guys, and started hanging out with them, and jumped in there, and they started letting me ride with them to the races because they seen I was interested, and I went to gathering parts, and started trying to build a car. 6% recycled. Good to see you in here, man. Appreciate all y'all jumping in here, but yeah, that was a fun time. And then here a few years back, Stan got a hold of us, and he had a little mini stock and wanted to know if I wanted to take it. And me and old Doug wanted to take it and get it out of the barn and get that thing running. And I said, well, I hadn't been around a racetrack in several years, but I think I'd like to do it and go have a little fun. And we went and picked that thing up and went to, I think that thing had some junk tires on it because it had been sitting on flats and whatnot. And I picked up some tires somewhere, and I'll tell you what, I took it on them tires. They were dry cracked and flat spotted and everything, but all we did was change the oil on it, put a battery in it, and put some fuel in it, and took it to I-30 and ran 8th with it that night. And the back shocks were broke, just blowed plumb out on it. It was junk. And anyway, I took that next week, put a new set of shocks on the back, went to Greer's and picked up some tires that he had. Justin Greer's down there, picked up some fresh set of tires, put them on it, and we went back and finished 3rd in that car. And I said, we got something to work with. And then ran it, let's see, I don't really know who won. I believe it was Wayne Pohl won that night. I ran 3rd. Wayne Pohl, I believe, won that race, and the old boy driving for Kenny James ran 2nd because I was running 2nd, and he got around me for 2nd at the last lap. But I can't. That was in let's see, 2018, I believe it was. 2018, somewhere around in there. But anyway, come back. I think that was one of the last races. Come back that winter, took the motor out and had Tommy Johnson go through the motor. He freshened it up, made it all fresh. That motor was old, and it was an old school motor. We come back with fresh, nice new parts in it, good rods, good pistons, and a good head. Never, at I-30, I don't think I finished out of the top 3 every time I ran it. And I won a couple, 3 heat races and 1 feature. I only ran just a few nights because of scheduling, my conflict scheduling and all that. I had the red and white number 10 mini stock. It's what I had. I think I had one of the better looking cars out there. Some of them little mini stocks look like a shoebox, the way they built the bodies on them. But I tried to build it, and it made it look more like a factory stock or a street stock or something like that. Looked really good. As you can go back on some of my videos, you can see the car. It looked really good. Had Tyler Stevens do the graphics on it, and it was really, really good looking car. And ran with the KMSA guys, the big touring series that come to Batesville. Ran with them. I did pretty good. just didn't quite have enough to run with them up front, but had a pretty good car. Ran, I think I ran fifth to them over at Crawley's Ridge. And I come home, found out I had a problem on the car. My spring wasn't set right on the right front spring, and uh, it was helping to unload my left rear as I was getting in the corner, and the track locked down that night, so it made my car extremely tight to try to get in the corner. It was terrible. But I worked on that car, and I wanted to go back the next night, but things happened and I didn't get to make it. But had some fun running with them guys. They tour all over the southeast, the KMSA Cajun mini stocks. So the Minor Boys, they were there. If you ain't subscribed to them, jump over there to look for them Minor Boys. They got some good street stock racing and mini stock racing. I've run, like I say, run with them guys. They really good racers, really clean. And but I've done a little bit of all of it, I guess, and probably talked a little bit about all of it tonight. But I appreciate everybody jumping in here. I'm not going to be on here all night, but I'm trying to get an hour time so that I can be on here at least an hour, and that kind of helped get my watch hours up. I'm trying to get my watch hours built up. I've got almost 1,200 subscribers now, so I'm trying to get that built a little bit more to try to build a little bit better program right there. And I'm working on another situation of you see a lot of people doing reviews, and I've got access and possibly a line to start doing some of those. And I'm in talks with some people, and that might work with me on that. So you may start seeing some reviews on here. I know we're going to be doing some videos of the races, and with me helping on the race car and possibly doing a little bit of racing myself again this year in the 88 car at Batesville. We're gonna have my hands full trying to get all the video and all of that. So I may have to recruit my wife or somebody to go along and try to help do some videoing. But no, McMillan, they're not. I'm not getting paid yet. I've got to have 4,000 watch hours, and I don't have that yet. So good to see BNR Racing in here. Appreciate you jumping in. But now we're working on getting our watch hours up. As soon as I get my watch hours up, it'll and get approved, I'll be able to start doing some of that. So getting some of that ad revenue, so $2 a month or whatever it is, so. Limited late model years, 15 years ago. Yeah, that's one thing I wanted to do before I plumb quit is I've ran a modified, dirt modified, but I'm wanting to run some sort of a late model, whether it's a 602, 604. I know I'll probably never have the opportunity to run an open late model, but maybe one of these days. But well, that's good. I've Punisher Le Mans. I've got just over 1,000. The last time I checked, I had 1,005 watch hours, and I'm trying to gain a little bit. They say the lives help, but I did a live here the other day, and I was on there over an hour, and I didn't seem to gain anything off of it. Maybe it takes some time to add the time to you, but I don't know. I'm trying to learn that myself. But I see 2 stalls in there up there in South Dakota. How's the weather up there? Is it cold? Auto Salvage Outlaw jumped in there on me. I missed him. Good to see you in here. Yeah, McMillan, just keep hammering. Throw some shorts in there. Start working them shorts and just put in some content that will catch people's eyes, and you'll start seeing them subscribers jump up there. Okay, I'll try to start working on that there, NSB. That's a good idea. Try to start hammering on that a little bit. But yeah, them McMillan, just start hammering them short videos out. That'll bust them subscriber count out. I'm sitting there reading and doing that too. So yeah. How's that small block Ford coming there, Auto Salvage Outlaw? I've got a 351 Windsor block. I used to have everything that went with it. I pulled the motor apart, and then somebody come in and out at my other old shop out there apparently and lifted those off my hands. So anyway, I lost my crankshaft, my rods, my pistons, my heads, everything. So I guess what that does is give me a clean slate. So I can get some billet caps for it now. And I appreciate you there, 162. Appreciate all the help I can get. And I see you getting close on that Auto Salvage. It gets slow. I understand that, but well, that's good, John. I would have been out in the shop, like I say, doing a live out there, but the noise was so loud with all the rain, I couldn't even hear myself think. And I knew it'd be rough to hear on the video. So in here, I've got Wi-Fi, and I don't have it out in the shop yet. But one of these days, I'm gonna have Wi-Fi out there. But that I was talking about that 351 Windsor I've got out in my little shed out there. That might be a open slate. I think he's Neo Mustang, I believe is the name of his channel. A guy has took a 351 or no, yeah, 351 Windsor block and ordered a 385 stroker crank. Now I've looked them up. Gonna get them for a little over about $200 or a little under $300. Something garage. Good to see you in here. But I can get one 385 cranks and put in that motor, that 351 Windsor, with some billet caps, and then get a. He said that you could run 351 Windsor rods with 302 pistons. So, and the deck height all comes out to be right. So, Ed's Machine, I might be bringing a block to you one of these days whenever I start gathering all this stuff up. So, that might be a fun little motor too. Then I can either hunt around and find a set of GT heads or set of trick flows or something, build a hot little 385, 387 stroker. That'd be a fun little motor. But yep. Yeah, I got guys from all over the country in here. I appreciate everybody jumping in here. I'm going to Well, I missed your comment there. We'll be picking up an 86 Camaro dirt car from my buddy in South Carolina. That's going to be pretty cool. That'll be pretty cool. You know, when I ran with Wayne Brooks all over the country, we never raced in South or North Carolina. We raced in Georgia, Tennessee, Ohio, Kentucky, all those across there. Yeah, I see that there, Auto Salvage. That'd be a pretty good motor. But we raced all through the Midwest and all of that. We ran all over the place. My friend has an 88 Cadillac Sedan DeVille. Anyone have any ideas? Hot rod it. That's all I can tell you. Hot rod it. Make a hot rod out of it. White number. He got a crate motor in it. I guess that'd be pretty cool. Those 602, I guess. Bondo Billy. Good to have you in here, man. Yeah, get off the porch and run with the big dogs. That's a good one. Yep. Bring it to No Name Nationals. Shop Cat Industries. He's just bounced in here. Good to see you in here. Appreciate you jumping in here. Got 23 on here right now. If you hadn't hit that thumbs up button, go ahead and hit that thumbs up. We appreciate it. We're hoping to have the both stock cars running and rolling here for long. Get them off to the side where I can get my 75 in the shop, 75 square body. Then I can start lining up that big block going off in it. Me and Big Block 402's got a race. We've got a race lined up, so we've got to get on that. And we're hoping to repeat from last year. I know he's probably going to pull out a few tricks. He don't want to get beat by Outfits Garage again, but I'm going to do everything I can to hold my title. I'm 2 for 2. I ran 2 races last year and won them both. I don't want to lose any, but I know I've got to at some point. But you know, we don't like losing. I just need another vehicle to round out the top 10. Or 10 total. Yeah, that's about the way I am. I've got cars stacked everywhere out here, and parts cars. And so I need to move something. I talked to a guy about another truck today. I don't need it, but I need it, but I don't need another vehicle. I'm needing a good 3/4 ton truck to pull my trailer. So my little 1/2 ton, it pulling the guts out of it trying to pull my big trailer, and I hate to keep using it for that. And I don't want to get a diesel because diesel's so high, but I've got my eye on a good 02 Chevy 2500 HD, and it's got the heavy suspension under it. I think he said it had 1 ton suspension of the springs. He said it is super rough riding, but I'm thinking it would work good to hook up to my trailer, and I can get it pretty reasonable, but I got to come up with a way of buying it. So yeah, that's the way I'm wanting to do with this truck I'm looking at there, Buff, is to hook it up to my big trailer and use it strictly for pulling, and because That's what I'm needing. I'm needing something pretty solid. Yeah, it's a 6.0 uh, Macmillan. It's a 6.0 but it's a single wheel. It's a 2500 HD. So he said it had it was originally a cab chassis truck, but they've put a bed on it and made it look good. So I think I can get it relatively cheap. So I'm gonna try to figure out a way of coming up with enough money to buy that. Just hook it up to my trailer, and that way I'll save my little truck. Then I can pull my little blue trailer with my half-ton truck because it's not as heavy. So that enclosed trailer, it gets pretty heavy. We've got stuff. We fill the front of that trailer full to kind of counterbalance everything, and it's pretty heavy. So, oh, I know. I've got a F-350 and an '85 bullnose. Uh, they're auto salvage. I've got an '85 model, but it's got to have some work done on it, and I could probably get that going cheaper. I know I can because I've got a master cylinder, a fuel pump, and I just need to get it around there and do that. And I've got to put a set of tires on it. That's going to run me probably about $1,000. It's a dually, so unless I go around and find me some good used tires, I may try to do that. So yeah, I've had an inline 300. Had it in a 90 model. That's a good little motor, good little old truck. Used it all the time. Uh, yeah, my little 85 1 ton. I think it would do the job. It's a 4-speed transmission in it and 460. So it'd do anything I need to do. I just need to get it around there and start working on it instead of trying to go buy another truck. Since I've already got this one, so I think that would hook me right on up, make me a good little tow truck. I could hook it up to my trailer and just leave it hooked up because I've got my pickup. And if Mama Outfit would let me keep it on insurance, that's the thing. That's insurance nowadays is crazy. It's crazy. So, uh, yeah, we'll go check her out. We'll go check them out there, Macmillan Cattle Company. If y'all hadn't looked them up, go check them out. Uh, I think y'all enjoy that. There you go. But take that 083 and run it through the power tour. I think you'd enjoy that. I'd like to do that, but I can't afford to do the power tour. So I might could one of these days. So you never know what we'll do. We've got so much going on with our church and with Matthews racing and all of that. It's a pretty tight schedule. So we're just trying to get everything lined up so that we can get it No Name Nationals. So John, I forget exactly how many you have to have to where you can go live. Somewhere around uh, 300 or 400, I think it is. I say Destroyer 1320's in here. Good to have you in here, man. Um, but yeah, you can Google that and see exactly how many. Uh, um, okay, they dropped to 100 or 50. So um, that's some good information. I didn't know he just I don't really know. I know it took me a while before I could ever go live, and but we're digging. We're trying to keep on hammering, and we're just going to keep on strolling, making a few little videos here and there. I appreciate everybody jumping in here on this live. I didn't expect so many people to jump in here. I'm usually not that popular, I didn't think, but they've lowered it. Used to be 500 subscribers, but now they've lowered it to 50 or 100, which is good. John, as soon as you can, start hitting them lives, and we'll try to help promote you. Short videos, I noticed you've been hammering them out. Those are good, good quality, good music, make tying everything in on them short videos. And Buff, I appreciate that. I'm trying to figure out. I think I know John Wilburn wants me to bring the stock car back. We may. We just got to see how things work out for us this year. If everything works perfect like it should, we're going to have that 75 C10 there. I say C10, 75 short bed square body. We're going to have some fun with that. We may try to do the burnout. We may try to do we're going to do some grudge racing. We're going to do bracket racing, because if I can get it going right and getting going soon at Newport Dragway here in Arkansas, Newport, Arkansas, they're going to have bracket days, and I'm going to try to get in on some of that and try to learn how to do some of that. I think that'd be kind of fun. For any of y'all drag racers out there, if y'all can get a hold of Redbeard or some of them guys, it's Novak or Nivlock. I know they're trying to heal up, but Newport Dragway, you can look it up on YouTube or Facebook. Look it up on Facebook, Newport Dragway. They're having $100,000 to win super cash days or mega cash days. They've got a lot of the big name guys rolling in for that. I believe it's May 19th. I'll try to take pictures of their flyer and put it up on my page and let everybody know. But it's going to be a pretty big deal. I think it's a small tire deal, 100,000 to win. It's going to be a big deal. I think it be kind of fun to go see, and that's only about 30 miles from here, and I'm thinking it's going to be kind of fun. So, but I'm not going to be able running them guys with them guys. They're tough. They're bad news bears. So, yeah, it's like $1 billion to us. I can't fathom having $100,000. If I was to get $100,000, I'd pay my house off. That's what I'd do. That's some unreal money. Yeah, I'm going to do everything I can to video all I can of it. I'm going to try to go around here in the next little while. I'm going to try to get a hold of my old buddy Doc Baker. Many of you may have heard of him. He was on Street Outlaws. He raced in Oklahoma one time with them guys and blowed a transmission and ruined the whole deal. But he's got a Dodge Dart or a Dodge Demon with a blower sticking out of the hood of it. That thing is massive. But I'm going to try to go over to his shop and holler at him sometime. Try to get a time where I can go visit and kind of pick his brain on some things. And we've known each other for years. And back when I was young, they were all young. We all used to run around town He come through town. He had an old Studebaker, early 50s model Studebaker. I don't know what kind of motor it had in it. That thing, you could hear it coming 2 miles away, just rumbling the windows and shaking. Had big old Mickey Thompsons on the back of it, and it was orange and had wrote on the side of it, nothing but trouble. And that was because every time he tried to run it, there's some more trouble he had with it. But but yeah, he's got that Dodge Dart now, or that Plymouth Duster Demon, whatever it is, and that thing is bad to the bone. And he'll be there. So, but he ain't no telling $250,000-300,000 he's got tied up in that car. So, he'd be a wild one to watch. But but anyway, guys, yeah, jump over there, help old McMillan Cattle Company out. Fleming Family Racing. I know he's not in here no more, but if you hadn't subscribed to his channel, jump over and subscribe to them. They're a good bunch of guys. Skyler and the other boys, they run some front wheel drive cars. One of them, the brother, runs up at I-55 Speedway just south of St. Louis, but Skyler and them boys, they run down south, down Mississippi and places like that. So, but he just passed 5,000 subscribers, and he's doing good. And we appreciate all the help he's jumped in there and helped us with. And but yeah, appreciate everybody jumping in here. And yeah, jump over to Pontiac Power Hour. It's at 8 p.m. Central Time. Jump in there, and I believe you'll enjoy some of their talk they've got on Pontiac motors and Pontiac cars and everything that surrounds all of that. So jump over there, watch their stuff. Buff and Ray, I believe you'll enjoy that. I'm fixing to run off, get off of here, guys, and run and do a few more things around the house here. When I get my license, I want to have a car, meet somewhere with all y'all, including Russell. You helped me out a lot. I appreciate it there. You're welcome, and we just want to try to help y'all guys out, and just keep hammering, guys. Just keep hammering. So keep hammering them shorts and get them subscriber counts out, and that's where it's at, is to get your subscribers up. And the more your subscribers you get, the more people gets to knowing you. And once you can start doing some live videos, y'all can and open that chat up to where people can get on there and do some chats. That just starts opening up a fellowship. September, we're going to be in Sikeston, Missouri. No Name Nationals. If there's any way y'all can get there, it'll be a fun time. Last year we had guys come from all over the country, from West Coast to East Coast, from north to south, all met right there in Sikeston, Missouri, and had us a great time. It's going to be another great time this year. It's in September. I have to go back and look at the date. It's around the 23rd, that weekend, I believe it is. And so until next time, guys, I'm going to have to get off here and run. I'm going to try to make this an annual deal, Thursday afternoons, and and start making it just a Thursday afternoon talk. I may kind of repeat myself. I may try to bring in some new stories. I've got a lot of stories, and but appreciate everybody jumping in here. I'm going to get on off of here. Jump over to Pontiac Power Hour. Help them guys out. Buff and Ray, I believe you'll like what they got going. So, all right. Russell here saying God bless you. Outfits Garage saying keep a hammering, guys.